Welcome, welcome. Great to have you all here. I see we got quite a few more people that are shuffling in. Welcome. This is the tastytrade mobile platform live demo. I'm Christian Molmat. I'm going to be your host today. With me are Jeff and Anthony from the trade desk. They're going to help answer any questions in the chat and QA section as we're going through. We're going to kind of just crack open the app, open up the can of worms and go into each section of the mobile platform here, a couple trade placement examples, how you can monitor your positions and reconcile your profit and losses, pretty much everything you need. And then at the end for about 10, 15 minutes, I'll open it up to Q&A just to go over anything I might have not covered, or if you want, any specific questions answered. Same goes with just products or account type, stuff like that. If you got just like general questions on features that we're releasing, it's completely open book. So looks like we're hitting 3:31. Thank you for your patience for those of you that jumped in like 15 minutes ago. But let's go ahead and get into the demo here. So if I can start here really quickly, I do want to go ahead and let's see. Let's keep it at where we're at. Okay, we'll leave the disclaimer for the end. But okay, let's hop into the mobile platform, everyone. So off the bat, I am on an iPhone right now. Might be on an Android or different device type, but we do support iOS and Android phones. We're on the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. Oops, hit the horizontal mode there for a second. But so you can download it on both of those device types. Also, if you have an iPad or a Apple tablet, we do have a dedicated iPad app too. It's kind of like our mobile app that you see right here, just with a lot more space and some added functionality as well. So as you're sitting on your couch watching Game of Thrones or whatever, tapping away, placing trades, the tablet is really, really nice. For our mobile here, it's going to have all the apps and features that we have on our desktop and web platform, but just kind of more in a condensed format, a little bit less. And, you're not going to have all the analysis tools that you might have on the desktop app on a downloadable piece of software. But our mobile app is definitely catching up on a lot of the fronts and will allow you to do pretty much everything you need to do to place trades, manage your account, and even, get some trade inspiration. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and hop into it. So see someone might have raised their hand too. Just feel free to toss any questions in the chat. I'll keep an eye on it. I see. What is the fastest way to place trades on the app, desktop, or web? Gotcha, my friend. Well, I will show you that right now. So off the bat, we'll just talk about a little bit layout and wayfinding, and then we'll go into trade placement. So we can see here that the first tab, and let's see if I can actually get the Zoom drawing tools here to work. So if we check out, and Anthony, you want to confirm for me that you can see that line on the app there? Yes. Okay, we're good. Okay, don't want to double check. Cool. So with the tabs here at the bottom, we have 5 different tabs. So right now we're just in the watch list tab. It's going to where you're getting pulled into at the start when you first open up the app. And in our watch list tab, if you're familiar with the desktop platform or the web platform, we're going to be able to scan a set of symbols, filter them by different columns. It's a good place to go when you're analyzing the market, seeing, hey, what's moving right now, what might be, present opportunities, what kind of underlyings have high IV or maybe have earnings or dividends coming up. It's a good, kind of option scanner or symbol scanner, just in a more simplified format. So at the top of our watch list tab here, we're going to see that I have high options volume selected. If I click on this top section here, that's going to open up all of our available watch lists. So either you can set up personal watch lists and you can create those on desktop web or within the settings here. In a second, I'll show you guys, but you also have a bunch of great preset watch lists. Either, maybe if you're a fan of Tom, you got Tom's watch list here. You will also have watch lists applicable to, what kind of symbols have dividends coming up? What kind of symbols have earnings coming up? What kind of futures products do you guys offer? I want to check out all the different futures products. All you got to do is just click on that drop down there at the top, and then you can scroll through. Personally, I'm a really big fan of, I like, when I'm just looking for maybe a symbol to find an opportunity in, it's looking at high options volume. I always like to stay in the most liquid symbols or high liquidity underlines as possible. So it's a nice place to start if you're just scanning through symbols. But two, maybe you want to go through and let's see, market indices. Let's pull up all the symbols in the S&P 500. You can pull up that watch list. Now we're viewing all of the underlines in the S&P 500. So now that you've pulled up your watch list, let me get rid of that drawing there. You're going to have quite a few different columns, and you might be seeing different information right now, and that's okay. I'll show you how to change that. So on the far left, we have all of our different symbols. So we can see ZTS, Zion. Right now, we're actually filtering or sorting by the symbol name. So you see this arrow here at the top. If you just tap it with your finger, it's going to unsort and either basis sort off of one of the columns on the right, or you can click on it again and it's going to go in alphabetical order or ascending or descending. The same goes with these columns on the right-hand side. So right now we have the last price, the change in price for the day, and also the IV rank for each of these symbols. As you are going through, you can click on one of these columns here, either the last, and also sort in ascending or descending order. So maybe you're looking at the list of symbols and you're going, I want to look for symbols with particularly high IV rank or implied volatility right now. You can click and ascend or descend based there and see, hey, what are some symbols like FI right now or FTRE are pretty high up on their volatility for the year. So maybe some interesting opportunities or something to look into that could be a trade opportunity. These are some good columns. I like last price, change. There's also change percent to see the percentage change in the underlying. If you wanted to adjust these columns or check out multiple pages of the columns, all you got to do is just hold down your finger and scroll to the left. So you're dragging your finger to the left, kind of like scrolling a page, like a Kindle or something along those lines, but you're tapping and dragging to the left, and you can see this little dots right here. That's indicating what page you're on. So depending on how many columns you have set up, you might have multiple pages of columns. We can edit those columns by going into our watch list settings here. We can click on edit here at the top. I believe, but that's actually for making our list. Sorry, I'll show that again in a second. We want to click on this gear icon here, actually, if we're going to go and edit our column. So if you click on that gear icon, I'll show you where it's at again. It's this guy right here. The top, if you tap on that gear icon, you're going to be taken into your column settings for the watch list. And then go ahead and click on edit table columns at the bottom. So you can click edit table columns. And then here you're going to see all of the different available columns that we can add there. Maybe we want to check out the market cap or the, let's see here, what do we want? Oh, yeah, we do have net change percent there. So now we can see market cap here. We just added that into our list of viewed. So it's added to one of our pages right now, page 5. But if we wanted to move it to the front so we can see it right away, we can drag, click, drag your finger over while it's still selected and drop it there. So we got market cap. And then maybe we can also add in net change percent. So we can see, hey, is this underlying up 5% today, down 5% today? What's the change in price for the day? So once you have your column set, all you got to do is just click on back in the top, do that. And now you are back in our watch list, and we can see we got last price that was already there, but now we have change percent and the market cap for each of these symbols. So for example, if we're looking at IPG here, had a last price of 37.92. That's when the market closed. And then the change in price for the day went up about 0.69%. And the market cap is 15.2 billion. So as you're going through your watch list, really good place to be. You also have a filter section up here at the top. If you click on there at the top, these are going to be some additional tools to scan through your watch list. So maybe you're basing it on the amount of days until earnings or an IV rank range or liquidity rating as well. So, underlyings with 1-star liquidity rating, not too great. Liquidity rating up to 4 stars, pretty liquid product. This is based solely on the star rating is based on the options volume in combination with the product's volume or the underlying volume for the day. So usually when you're looking at 4 stars, you're looking at a pretty liquid product. So maybe I only want to look at 4-star liquidity products. I can do that and then click on the X at the top. So I just clicked on these boxes here to uncheck the liquidity rating. And let's get those drawings off. But if I click on the X in the top right, now you can see we're looking at 4 symbols. So that only means that, we got 4 symbols that fit the criteria that we had set before, which was an IV rank within a range, earnings date as well, and then make sure that they have 4-star liquidity too. So good place to start your day. If you're looking at different symbols, there's also a grid mode. I know some people prefer that as well. If you click on grid, it's just a different format for the watch list. So now enough on the watch list tab. That's a nice area. Let's quickly just glance over a couple of our different areas and then get into trade placement. So right here, we're on the watch list tab. If I want to check out my open positions, you can click on positions down here. And now we have our positions tab. So right now we have a position open in Apple and Peloton. We'll come back to this page in just a second. Next to that is our trade tab. So this is where we're going to be spending our time either placing options trades, futures trades, or stock trades as well. Right now we're in the options table, but in a second, I'll show you how to place a stock trade as well. To the right of that is the activity tab. This is giving us it's the activity tab and also the history tab. So activity is giving us an update on our working, closed, replaced, canceled, and rejected orders. So pretty much any kind of order state, you're going to see the update of, hey, when did we place this order? Was it with the 4 legs? We can see right here, earlier we opened a trade on Peloton. Oh, give me my drawing tools back here. We had a trade on Peloton Iron Condor that we opened up. We also have a trade on Apple. You can click on these orders actually, just to show you a little sneak peek. Oops. Did I lose us here? Here we go. Sorry. Zoom was giving me a hard time. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So let's go ahead and cancel that. There we go. So as you click on any of these positions here, you can also click on similar order or opposite order. So maybe if you want to place the same exact trade again or something similar to it, you can click on similar and that's going to queue up a trade that's just like the one we placed. If it's a working order or potentially a rejected order, you might have some additional options. For a working order, for example, right here, you would also see a replace and cancel button. I'll show you guys this a little bit later, but just a little sneak peek on the activity tab. And then lastly, the far right here in the bottom, this little Tasty Live icon. This is going to be Tasty Live content, on-air personalities and traders. You can keep track of what kind of trades they're placing, kind of get some trade inspiration, see what other people's thoughts are on different strategies or positions across the market. You can filter whose trades you want to view. Maybe you're a big fan of Tom Sosnoff and you just want to view his trades on your platform. You can filter that through in the filter here at the top, and you can click through and click to select. If you only want to see Tom's trade, you click on Tom there right here. And then now you see when we open it back up, we're only viewing Tom's trades. So I know a lot of people like this, especially Tasty Live viewers. You can kind of get an idea of what others are thinking as earnings might be coming up, dividends announcement, who knows? Very useful stuff. So to get back to our path here, and also just one more area that I do want to show you guys is the top left here. So you might not find it off the bat when you're using the platform, but to open up and view all of your accounts, you're going to go ahead and click on this button in the top left, and you're going to get a panel expanding on the left side. So In this panel, you're going to see all the accounts that you currently have open under your profile. So maybe you have a cash account, a margin account, and then also an IRA or joint account. All those different accounts are going to appear under a different color and symbol on this left side. So you can see right now, we have our purple account selected that ends in 01. And then we also have a second account here that's a pink triangle ending in 08. So as you're going through the platform and looking maybe at the positions tab or activity tab, and you're seeing, oh, I placed that trade in my purple account. Oh, I placed that trade in my IRA, which is a pink account. Something along those lines helps with your organization. Right now, you might see a little bit more here. I actually have the platform on privacy mode. So you see a few dots here, but you'll see the account name here. That's actually listed right there. And then to the right is the account number. So this account ends in 01. Underneath that, you're also going to see your account's net liquidating value. Right now, privacy mode is blocking it out. And then you're also going to see a bunch of different other figures that are applicable to your account, either the profit or loss for the day, your profit or loss for current open positions, your P&L, YTD, which is P&L year to date, or the profit or loss since the start of the year, January 1st. You can also see the net delta and theta for all of his open positions across your account. So it's a good idea of like, hey, am I net bearish across my account with my open positions? Am I net bullish? Am I getting theta decay from selling options, or am I generally just buying options and I have negative theta? So you can kind of look at a more holistic, big portfolio analysis, or at least look at the metrics on your account there. So we also have the day trade counter too, if you're keeping track of day trades for pattern day trading. Underneath these figures are going to be just a couple more figures applicable to your account. Your buying power. So STK is not stake, it's actually stock. So you have your stock BP, that's your stock buying power. Boyd, I see your question here, my friend. What part is this on? I'll show you where we're looking at real quickly. So if we go back, I'm just clicking on this part of the screen, tapping on it with my finger. If I go back into our window here and then click on this button here in the top left, that's actually our account that we have viewed. Tap on that and you see that menu appear. So just to show you one more time, click on that button in the top left, and now you got it there. To your point, mentioned it earlier, it's not as easy to find unless you know it's there already. So definitely keep track of it. You can click on that there, and now we're back here. So we saw our STK or stake buying power, no, stock buying power. We have our options buying power, the cash balance in our account, the pending cash as well. So maybe you have a transfer coming in, or maybe a dividend payment, margin interest payment, something along those lines. That'll be pending cash. You also have your starting day trade buying power if you're day trading, figure to keep track of, and then also your buying power percent. So that's how much capital in your account you're using up compared to your cash. So you can say, oh, okay, cool, I'm using 50% of the cash in my account in open positions, or in this case, we're holding up open positions that take up 1.2% of our account in buying power. Like, you know, that's the collateral set aside to hold our positions. But nice. Underneath that, you also have a transfer money section. So some of you might have not noticed this, but it's really nice. You can actually, with a linked bank account, either if you already linked it through our website, or if you link it through the app here, you can do ACH transfers between your bank and directly into your tastytrade account. So don't have to log into our website to make a transfer. All you got to do is just open up the menu here, select the account you want to fund, and then click on the transfer money button here. That'll open up another window, take you through that process. We're just going to save that for another time. We got a guide up on our help center that should help out. But while we're also in here, some other buttons to keep track of. You have this trading this account button. So unlike our other platforms where it's a little bit quicker or easier to select which account you're trading if you have multiple accounts and quickly flicking between them, primarily on the mobile app, when you're going between your accounts and you're going, I want to place this trade in my IRA, I'm going to select that account, or I'm going to place my trade in this cash account, I want to select that account. Make sure that the little T icon here at the top is under the account that you want the trade placed in, or at least when you're going and opening up a trade, that'll be the default account that it goes to. If we click on or tap on our triangle account here, You can see all the information here, update based on our balances in the pink triangle account. We can also see that the tap to trade button here at the bottom is illuminated. That's because this is not our default account selected right now. If we click on tap to trade, it's going to take us out of here really quick. But if you click on tap to trade, now we're trading in our pink account. You can see the T shield there. So for our demos today, we're just placing trades in our purple account here. So we will go ahead and click back on there, click back on tap to trade at the bottom. And now you are trading by default in our purple account. So clear out our drawings, open that back up. Just to get done with our platform layout wayfinding, where are the platform settings? Great question. They are going to be right here at the bottom. So if you click on this gear icon here at the bottom of the mobile app, you'll get taken to the platform settings. And just so you guys all get set up off the bat, let's go through some of these just to make sure you guys are setting up the easiest way possible to place a trade quickly. So if you go into order here, click on that. You're going to have a couple different selections. In general, I would say if you can keep it along these lines, depends on the default order type that you're usually placing, if you're placing day orders or GTC orders. But if you want to save yourself some time and you always place as a GTC or good till canceled order instead of a day order, you can click on that setting there. And then every time you open up a new order, the order type or time in force is going to default to limit and GTC. So again, this is just settings to save you time as you are going through the platform, especially if you do the same type of trade, same order type and time in force every single time. Underneath that, we can click on stock here, and that will open up our default order quantity and increment. If you're trading stock, I would most definitely suggest changing this number to 1 and also changing the increment to 1. This means that when you go to set up a stock order, by default, it's going to start with 1 share. And then you can go in and adjust the quantity either by typing it in or using the arrows. And then when you use the arrows to adjust the quantity, it's going to increment up in 1. If you have a number here of 100, but your default stock order quantity is 1, then you're going to start an order with 1 share and you click the up button and then it immediately goes to 100 shares. So you want to set your default quantity and increment to save yourself some time. And then the same goes for options and futures. As we click and open up these menus here, just clear my drawings. It works. Just clicking on my computer there for a second. I got to tap on the phone. If we click on options there, you'll get the same exact settings of setting your default option order quantity. Generally, I'm just keeping it 1, 1 and 0. And then also I am doing 1, 1 and 0. So if you just set it at 0, you're not going to have a max quantity. So very nice. Once you're done with those, you can also, drag that over there. You can also click on app up here, and you're just going to have a couple more settings. I had mentioned privacy mode earlier. So maybe if you got some nosy coworkers or your significant other likes looking through your phone and checking your account balances, you can go ahead and click on privacy mode, and your netlick, your account number, all that jazz, the name, it's going to get dotted out. So a very useful feature, especially if you're given a demonstration on it. We also have a couple other settings like our beta weighting symbol. So when we're looking at our beta weighted deltas, can get a little more advanced, but you can set a specific symbol to beta weight to if you know what that means. We got a little description in our help center if you want a review of it. But then we also have a selection of quick login and login or logout timeout. So if you are getting slightly annoyed by the fact that your phone after a 4-hour period is signing out, so maybe you open it one day and you still want to be signed in when you open it the next day, make sure to at least set this to the max of 4 hours. And that's going to give you the most session time before your app logs you out and you got to go back in. Andrea, I see you're asking, where do I find the settings? Let me show you one more time. So just to get out of the screen, for those of you that are following along, click on back there. And then to get back to the screen that we were just at, we are clicking on settings here once we're in our accounts menu. So Andrea, hope that helps out. It's the little gear icon in the bottom. Let's clear that, go back in here. So we clicked on settings. And then we also clicked on app. And then, and also just for reference, we got a recording of this afterwards. So if you miss anything and you want to rewatch it, you'll be able to, no worries. But lastly, we also have a color theme setting as well. So if you wanted to, and it looks like, depends on if you have this toggle set here, but you will see the ability to toggle between the dark mode that I have up right now or a white mode. So maybe if you're hard for seeing, or the black mode is, or dark mode is, you know, a little too hard for seeing with some of the platform figures, the light mode, which is just a white background, can be a little more clear. So you can check that out in our app settings at the top. Nice. So that's pretty much all the different areas. We didn't go into detail specifically on our positions and trade tab yet, but we're going to get into that right now. So looks like we got 4 minutes left in the extended hour session. So normal market hours for stock trading is going to be 8:30 Central to 3 o'clock Central. And then we also have an extended hour session right now, which is an hour before and then an hour after the market close. So from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central Time, we can place extended hours orders. So I'll show you guys how to do that right now. And I'll try and do it in a effective amount of time so we can get it in before 4 o'clock. So if we click on trade at the bottom of our screen here, you'll by default be taken either to the symbol search area or the table mode, depending on the symbol that you already have selected. Just to show you what you guys will probably see when you first click on trade is you click on the magnifying glass here. It was in the top left, but this is probably the window you're going to see. This is where you can search for the symbol that you want to trade. In this case, maybe I want to trade TSM. I can click on there or tap on TSM, this row, anywhere on this row, and that will open up this quick action menu. And we can either go options, stock, or strategy. So you can either, you know, maybe if you want to set up an iron condor, you can click on strategy and that'll open up our strategy selector tool. Show you guys in a second. But in this case, if we want to just buy stock, all you had to do was click on the trade tab at the bottom, find the symbol you want to trade, and then click on this stock button. So we saw our list of symbols, we tapped on our symbol, and then we got our menu here, and then we click on stock. So this is going to pull up our stock trading interface. We drag this down a little bit. So what I'm doing here, by default, you're going to see your trade ticket in the center of the screen here. So you can see buy to open one stock here on TSM. We can see the market for this underlying right now. See that we are buying. The order type, so we actually set this earlier. We set the default order type to limit and GTC. But you can go in here and play around with the order types. In this case, for an extended hours order, we need to set it as a limit order, and then we need to change our time in force to EXT. So if we go to time in force and click on that there, you get a drop down, and then you see EXT at the bottom. We click on that, and now we have an extended hour order. We got about 2 minutes left, so I might be going a little quick here. Don't worry, we'll go over some more in a bit. But you can set your quantity. Right now, we're just buying 1 share, and also the limit price that we're placing at. If we look at the market at the top, we can see that it's trading about between 97.87 and 98.50. So we can go ahead and probably set an order. Yeah, that's pretty wide, man. I guess, you know, volatility has been crazy on this symbol today, but we can go ahead and probably place our order right around, maybe let's just try the mid price or just a little bit below the net price at 98. Let's just do 98.40 actually on our order ticket. So I clicked on these arrows here. You can also click on it and type in the number. So if we want 98.40, type it in with your keypad here. And let me get rid of these drawings. Sorry, folks. But we can set our order type. We can go ahead. Okay, I like the order. Click on review and send. We get a big page that breaks down all the stuff on our trade. If you want to edit the order, you can click edit. If you want to clear the order, you can click clear. Or in this case, let's just submit it so we get filled. Potentially nice. We see at the top of the platform now that we have gotten filled on that order. And then also too, what's really nice is that after we're out of our stock trading mode, We're going to see a chart on TSM here in the middle of our screen. And then we're also going to see the order that we just placed. So we bought at, we got a fill at 98.40. So nice. See that position there. And then just for reference as well, now that we've opened up our stock position, if we go into our positions tab here, at the bottom, and then we expand our stuff. So if we want to expand all of our positions just for reference, you can click on that arrow right at the top. So I'm tapping there. Now we can see all of our expanded positions. If you wanted to do it individually too, you can just tap on each, oops, it's fire. You can just tap on each symbol's little first box there to individually open them up. But I like just saving some time, clicking on that expand button at the top. And now we can see our one share in TSM. So based on the mid price right now, we actually already got a loss on the position because we opened it for a little bit, or well, we placed our limit order pretty high. We just wanted to get filled. But in our positions tab, we can see the share that we just opened. And we can also see some columns that are applicable to our trade. So right now we have the P&L open column, P&L open percent, and also DTE. So that's days until expiration. Look at our stock trade right now, even though we just opened it, just based on how the positions are marking in this post-market, it's 401 now. So the bid and asks are super wide. So based on that mid price getting marked, we do show a 54-cent loss on the position. Based on the total notional value, we're down about 0.5% on that. And since this is a stock position, it's not going to expire. So there's no days until expiration. But you can imagine if you are trading options, or in this case, you can see we're trading a spread in Apple. It's going to expire in August 18th or in 29 days. We can see the days until expiration there on the right. Just like our watch list tab, we can also go through multiple pages of columns by just scrolling your finger right to left as you click on the screen. So you can see a bunch of different columns, a lot of different other information, P&L day, trade price, earnings coming up, all that stuff. A lot of the stuff that you saw on the watch list tab, but just more specific to the open positions you have. If we wanted to edit the columns there, it's going to be the same exact functionality as our watch list, where we click on the gear icon there. So just to show you one more time, it was the gear icon here at the top of our positions tab. So positions tab, top of our window, we're clicking on that gear icon. And now, if you remember at our start of our demo, how we edited our watch list, it's that same exact functionality where you can select through a bunch of different columns, order it in terms of the page number, and that's what you're going to view on your screen. Now, you might not see it in this demo today just because of how the recording is going to come out, but we do have landscape mode as well for all of these different pages. So if you were to, and if I were to move my phone horizontally, which might mess up Zoom right here, you can view all of this stuff, multiple columns in one window at the same time when you are in landscape mode. So very, very useful. You can get in landscape mode or horizontal view on your phone, like you're watching a video. Same thing if you got the Tasty live stream up, you can watch it horizontally. So super, super nice. So we had our stock position here, which is great. And maybe while we have our position open, we want to keep track of not only we're looking at the profit or loss open, but maybe we're thinking, okay, what happened to TSM today? Or maybe what's going to happen down the line? Do they have earnings coming up? What's the implied volatility like? What does the chart look like? How can I look at that? So there's a couple ways you can look at that. You can either start in the watch list tab, or you can go to the positions tab and click on your open position here. And if you just go ahead and click on the area here on this row, and technically too, you can click the position on the left if you hold it, I believe. But if you tap your finger to the right of your left side of the symbol, that's going to take you to the symbol overview page. And there's a couple different ways to access this page. I'll show you guys in just a second. But in our symbol overview, we're going to see that chart on TSM. We can actually see our order that we had placed earlier, where our cost basis is on the position based on the chart. on that line right there. So we bought it 98.40. That's marked on the line there. So very useful to have on your chart. You can mess around with the days of aggregation and the ticks. So maybe we want to view a chart. So this is the period or time period. So how long the chart's looking at. So we're looking at a chart for a year's worth of data. And then to the right of that, we have our aggregation. So we can select maybe one lowercase, or actually, no, if we're looking at a year. Let's go to daily data. So each tick is a day over, let's do 1 year. So D on the right over 1 year. Now we're looking at a daily tick chart over 1 year. So you can kind of mess around with it how you see fit or what you like to view. You can also go full screen, which, hey, here. Hopefully that didn't mess up the recording, but hey, look, we're in landscape mode now. You get a bigger view of your chart. So, especially as you're sitting, on the train, moving around, going to work, you want to check out some stock data, maybe zoom in, zoom out on that data. You can do that with the bar at the bottom. We're looking to add a lot more capabilities like indicators, drawings, that kind of works to our mobile charting soon, but this is the current implementation. So let's go back to our portrait mode. So while we are in this window, we can also click on quote details here. And when we expand that, just a bunch of information on our symbol, the open price, close price. Some other very good stuff is you can check out the dividend date or ex-dividend date, how much volume is being traded, maybe the IV rank, a lot of great information. The 52-week low, 52-week high, so where it's been high and low for the past week, all great information to have. And then you have some other tabs here like positions, upcoming events, and recent orders, all just applicable tabs here to check out, hey, what's our open position in TSM right now? Or what kind of upcoming events should I look at? Which is, in this case, was an earnings before the open or before the opening bell today. So that's why TSM's going a little crazy today. But we also have the recent orders here where we can check out all of our past orders. So it's just kind of a breakdown of everything you need to know on the symbol, either as your open position or a position that you're looking to place. What kind of quote details are you looking at? And then too, at the bottom, we have the selections that we saw earlier about, hey, do I want to set up a options trade, stock trade, or a specific kind of strategy on this symbol? You can quickly go to set up a trade within the symbol overview anytime with those buttons at the bottom of the screen. But quickly, before we do that, or I show you how to place an options trade, we can go into financials and news here at the top. So financials, this is going to give you some fundamental data on revenue, net income on a quarterly and annual basis on the symbol. So a little bit of research data. It's kind of a day one implementation. You might see some better research on our desktop and web, but again, we're going to be updating this very, very soon, where you're going to get some in-depth analyst looks, some descriptions, all that jazz, all that good financial information that you want as you're looking through symbols. And then also I mentioned the news tab right here. So there actually is no news listed on right there, and that's probably because my phone's lagging right now. Let's give it another try. Okay, well, no news available for TSM right now, but generally, if you're looking through symbols, there's going to be a list of articles there if there are any applicable articles for that symbol, and you can check it out, provided by Reuters. So good stuff. That was our symbol overview section. And that was, again, I just clicked on kind of the center of my positions tab to the right of one of these symbols. If you wanted to find this window anywhere else, say maybe we're in the Watchlist tab, click on Watchlist here, and then we're going to list mode. If I wanted to pull up the symbol details on Cisco, I can do that same click on the center of the screen here next to it. If I click on the last price or the change in price, any of those, it's going to take me to that symbol overview page. And then also when we're in our trade tab, so I just clicked on trade down here, and then I'm clicking on the magnifying glass here at the top. You click on the magnifying glass to do our symbol search again. You're going to see two selections. You're going to see the watch, so you can actually add this symbol to our watch list right away, or one of our custom watch lists. then we also have the symbol details right there. So if I click on that button that I just pointed to with the arrow, that details button takes us to that window. So quite a few different places to open up that window from as you navigate through the platform. Now we placed a stock trade and we kind of talked through some of the navigation there in terms of the symbol details. Let's talk about an options trade. So let's clear out all of our drawings and then let's go ahead and place an options trade. So maybe let's look at a trade on Apple. If we look up Apple, AAPL at the top, we'll see all the applicable symbols that have the same lettering. In this case, we just got one. And then instead of clicking stock, like we did for a stock order earlier, we're going to want to click on options or strategy. So if you are an experienced trader, you're probably going to want to just click on option, and then you can set up your trade within the table mode quite quickly just by clicking on the bid and asks. It's very similar functionality to what you would see on some other mobile platforms. But if you are a new trader, a beginner, and just getting familiar with the platform and how to trade options, I highly suggest using the strategy selector tool. It's going to save you some mental torment when trying to set up a trade and make sure you're doing the right thing. All you got to do is just click on strategy here on the right side, and that's going to pull up our strategy selector menu. So one more time, if I could do that for you guys. At Apple here, it's the strategy button. So we click on that. Now we're in our strategy selector menu. Now you can see all these different strategies available to place on our platform. Maybe we want to place an iron condor or a strangle of some kind of delta neutral or bullish strategy. We can do so by clicking on any of these here. So in this case, maybe we want to place a vertical call spread, long spread. We could do that by setting the settings here. So right now it's long, but if we wanted it short, we could tap on that long button, and now it's a short strategy. And we can go long, short, just by tapping on it. And also if you want to do a short put spread, tap on the call button, and now you'll queue up a short put spread. So it's all just kind of this tap functionality. You can click long, short, call, whatever you want, whatever kind of trade you want to place there. And then once you're ready and you're like, okay, yeah, I want to place a short vertical spread, all you got to do is set that there and then click on the arrow on the right. And now based on the, probably, I think it's just defaulting to the next monthly expiration. It's going to pull up the next monthly expiration and pull up a default vertical spread there. So our short call spread here, we can see that we are selling the 200 strike and buying the 205 call. So again, if you're a new trader just looking to set up trades, strategy selector is really nice. But just to show you, to go back really quickly to our settings here, let me clear up this trade. Go back to Apple, and we were to just click on option. If you click on option there, tap on it, you're taken to our trade tab. And this is where you can, instead of having that default trade just populate right away, you can view all of the different expirations available. So just to quickly go over some information here on all the different expirations, you have the week, or not the week, but the date of the expiration listed on the left. In this case, the July 21st is actually the monthly expiration for Apple here. And that's just denoted because there's no W. So any symbol with, or any expiration with a W next to it, that's a weekly expiration. That just means it's, a continual throughout the week, every week of the month expiration for the option. Might be a little less liquidity, depends on the symbol that you're trading. But, generally I'm sticking to the monthly expirations, which are just the ones here in the slightly more light blue color, I'd say, a little less navy. And then also, you can see here this purple line, we can see an upcoming earnings date for Apple, August 3rd. And you can actually see this little bell icon. That means that it's going to be after the bell. So just some good visible information as you're going through a symbol, looking to set up a trade. Maybe you're like, oh, I want to place a trade 15 days out until expiration, but you don't notice it. Oh, there's an earnings announcement right before maybe I want to stray away from that trade because I don't necessarily know what's going to happen. Like, you know, you don't have a premonition on earnings, but you still want to trade the symbol, or you have certain criteria on your strategy. So good, valuable information to keep track of. In the middle, we have all of the days until expiration. So we had our dates over here, but you can see, you know, the 21st is going to be in 1 day. The 28th is going to be in 8 days, and so on. So you can go all the way down here, check out the leaps or long-term equity anticipation options. So we can go like all the way to like 700 days out option. So quite long-term. To the right, we're also going to have the implied volatility and expected move for each of these chains. So based on the options or Black-Scholes options pricing model that is taking all the pricing from each of these chains, it's inputting all the different variables there, saying, okay, based on the pricing here, here's the implied volatility for this expiration based on, hey, how much is it going to move over this next 1 day? It's likely to move within that 1 standard deviation range of up and down about $1.34 over the next day. And you can imagine, you know, as we're looking at the expected move or implied volatility right around this earnings announcement, you can see like as we jump from 8 days or the expiration right before the earnings announcement, it's about 4 points up and down in the expected move, but after the earnings, it's about 8. So it makes sense. There's a lot of more volatility going into options that are going to be right after the earnings announcement because there's just a lot of uncertainty. So good stuff on the trade tab. And as we go through here and we're like, okay, I want to set up a trade on the 29th expiration, you can click on that row there, just tap on it with your finger, and now you have the entire options chain for this symbol. While you're in here, you have all of the calls pricing information here on the left. And then you also have all of the puts information here on the right. And now you might have some additional columns here on the left and right. Right now, I'm actually working on I think a Pro Max here. So it's not the biggest phone in the world compared. This is, I mean, honestly, compared to some of the phones right now, it's pretty small. But the bigger the phone you have, I mean, the more resolution, the more columns you're going to see here on the trade tab, as well as just the more you can fit on the screen. So saw a question come up, but you know, you're using a really small phone, the platform is going to fit to that. You use a really big phone, the platform is going to fit to that as well. So that's kind of the idea with the tablet, as well as you're using a tablet, you got a lot of space, you're able to fit and add in a lot more information and tools. So just a little knowledge drop there. But as we're in here, we had our call pricing, our puts on our right. Also, we can see a couple other things. We have the in the money, out of the money line. So this is right near the strike that the last price is trading at, which is this little donut icon. So you see this red donut. It's indicating the last price that Apple was at on our chain. And then also, it might look a little faded, but you can see the expected move that I mentioned, that 8.49 up and down, that's shown on our table there. So that orange highlight is showing us our expected move. So as you're looking to set up a trade, maybe you want to set up a strangle right outside the expected move or something along those lines, you know, profit as long as the trade stays within the strikes going into expiration or within that expected move. That can maybe be a trade that you're looking to set up just based on this visual information here on the options pricing. So we have the expected move there, but as we look to set up a position, and maybe we'll, you know what, I'm actually going to switch. I'm going to go to the 57 days out. As we look to set up a position, maybe we do want to set up a strangle, which is selling a call and selling a put. If we wanted to do that right outside the expected move, we can click on the bid, which is selling, or the ask, which is buying. So in this case, we're selling 2 legs. So we want to click on the bid on the call side and the bid on the put side. We click both of those or tap both of those buttons there. You'll see that 2 short legs are populating in our order ticket below, one on selling the 205 call and one selling the 180 put. And so we're selling both of those. STO stands for sell to open, BTO buy to open. So we're selling 2 legs to open this position. And we did a right side outside our expected move, but we can see on the left side here, you see this green and red area that's actually showing us in real time what our profit and loss zones are on this trade. So as we're dragging, maybe we click on, tap and hold our finger and drag to move this strike to a different strike price. We can see that orange, or not orange, but red and green line update in real time to show you, hey, where is your break-even point? So you can see right there, it's right about between 170, 175, based on also the order price we have selected. So if I go ahead and click clear here, scroll back down, we can view our trade, set that back. But so we got our trade set up here. We can see the expiration. We got September 15th as well. And then we can also see, hey, what kind of order price are we sending this at? Right now, based on the bid and ask of both options, the market's trading about between 4.27 and 4.53. Since we're selling to open, generally the more you pay, or I guess the less you receive as an initial credit, the more likely you're going to get filled. Essentially the idea that, like, if you're buying something and you put a bid, really, you offer to buy at a super high price, you're going to get filled right away. The same goes with selling options. If you offer to sell at a lower price, you're more likely to get filled. So in this case, if we place our order, maybe we click on our limit price there and select 430. We can set that there, click save. And now our limit price at the bottom, or our order price, is 430. We can drag and mess around with some other tools in terms of quantity, the order type, time and force, just by dragging left and right. Or if we just want to view all this stuff right away, you see this, oops. Or actually click on that. If you click on this arrow here, you can expand your order ticket, and now you can view all that stuff that I was just scrolling through. So here you can go ahead and see your delta for the trade, probability of profit, all that jazz. And also, maybe you're not viewing the table, but you can mess around with the quantity, the width, and the strike prices that you have selected for your trade while just viewing your order ticket. So nice. Now that we're ready, maybe we want to go ahead and place our order. We can click on review and send at the bottom. It's going to give us a breakdown on our trade. Right now the market's closed, so we'll start working this the next session. It gives us a little warning there, but we can see the strangle that we have set up. Confirm sell to opens, looks good. We can see our total commissions and fees paid as well on the trade. We can see our max profit, see your max loss. With the strangle, it's technically infinite. And then you can also see all the other trade metrics of, what is the buying power effect, how much options buying power is being held up on the side as collateral. You can get all that information right there. If we wanted to go back to the screen we were just at and edit the price or quantity or anything along those lines, you can click on edit. If we hate this trade and just want to get it off our screen, we can click on clear order here. This little trash can is just going to take the order completely off, won't save it. And if we're ready to go ahead and submit, you can click on submit order. So we'll go ahead and click on submit. And now you'll see that we have a working order going at the top of the platform. And then also we can see our working legs actually just on the trade table here. So those are our working legs, just in terms of viewing it on the trade table if you're looking to place other trades on the same expiration. But, if we go back to our home base at the positions tab, click on positions there, and then you can actually see that that working order, that order that we just placed that's going to start working the next session, is in our positions tab. We can tap on view working order there, and that will bring us to our position details, which just shows us our little working order. And I mentioned it earlier, but as you click or just tap on this here, you get a bunch of options at the bottom to either cancel the order, replace the order with a new price or expiration or something along those lines, place a similar order. If you want to double down, place the same thing, all those options at the bottom. In this case, if we just want to get rid of our order and cancel it, we can just click on cancel, and it will give you confirmation to cancel our order. Tap on yes. And now we are out of our order. And we can actually see, if we filter for canceled orders here, we can see that order that we just canceled. So all the information's there if you need it. For the most part, you're just checking out, Am I filled? Is the order still working? Do I need to replace it at a lower price or maybe a higher price? And then also, where is this open position? What's the profit or loss looking like? And then maybe how do I close it? So our last piece that I want to show you guys here is how would you queue up a closing order to get out of any of these positions? So we just opened an options trade. Let me show you how we could close an options trade. So we do have a vertical spread here in Apple. If we wanted to close our position, and right now it's about at a loss of, based on our P&L open here, if we're closing at the mid price, we're about a loss of $5 on the trade. We're okay with that right now. If we go ahead and tap on each of these legs here, or just on the header as well at the top, you'll see that the white box around them is going to select each leg. And you can close individual legs if you want, but in this case, I want to close it as I opened it as a spread. You get this quick action menu here at the bottom of your screen, and it's going to give you a few different selections in terms of you can click to close the position. Maybe you want to close at a certain profit percentage. So you're like, I want to close when my position reaches a 50% profit potential. Maybe you want to roll your position. So you want to close your position and open the same strikes at a new expiration, or same expiration at new strikes. You can use the quick roll function here, or we can just completely set up a new trade on Apple by clicking that button there. We also have our symbol details section there and order chains too that I'll show you guys in just a second. Very useful tool. But if we go ahead and just click close position, do that there. Now we can see our closing order right here. We can get our order price. Just open that up there. So in our ticket here, we can see max profit or loss. Right now, we are going to lose $5 if we were to close at this current mid price. Everything else in the order ticket looks fine right now. We're BTC, STC. We're closing these legs, buy to close, sell to close. And yeah, looks good. So if we wanted to close this trade, lock in that $5 loss by closing it $1.25, click on review and send, and market's closed again. But you know, we again just get another page breaking down that, hey, you're losing $5 if you're to close this trade at this price right now. What kind of commissions and fees you're paying? $0 commission close options, a couple 27 cents pass-through fees, and then you get your total trade cost, all that good jazz. So go ahead and submit that order to close the position, and now we're working to close. So that's how you can close an options trade, just to show you how you can close a stock position. And this is going to function the same as an outright futures position. But if we go back into our positions tab here at the bottom, and then we were to click on our shares icon here and then tap on close position, you're going to get a closing order ticket for TSM. So very nice stuff. Just to mention here as well too, because I know this question comes up quite often, but for single-legged options and stock, you can actually place a bracket order, or what's called an OTOCO or OCO order. A one cancels the other, or one triggers a one cancels the other. Like, well, a lot of words going on here. What's happening? In short, a bracket order is just an order that allows you to place a take profit point and a stop loss order on one position at the same exact time. So you're essentially, you got a take profit order working at the same time as your stop loss. And depending if one of them gets hit, it'll cancel the other. So you got a stop loss that's going to help protect a down move. If your stop loss gets hit, then now your take profit order gets canceled and you're out of the position. So if we did want to set up that kind of order on a stock position, we could tap on bracket here. And now we have our bracket order window to set our close at profit order, which we could do, hey, I want to close when I'm 5% up. And then also our stop loss, our stop order there, we could set it so that we are, let me clear that out, and maybe stop it when we're like 9.5% down, let's say that, or at $89, we could set that there, go review and send. We get a breakdown of the trade that we're about to place here, and then you can go ahead and submit. What's nice too is that you're going to see those two orders on your chart. So bracket's really good. So stop and percent or condition. Yeah, it's an or. It's essentially, it's a one cancels the other. So It's either or get filled or the other one's canceled. So either the stop gets filled and the percent profit take gets canceled, or the take profit gets filled and the stop is canceled. So, I mean, anyway, that just makes sense. It's like if you have an open position and you place a take profit and stop loss, and the stop loss closes the position, then you'd have a working order to close shares that you don't have open. So technically it would be a short. It's like, it would get real messy. So that's why they cancel each other. If you are curious. But okay, so that's pretty much been it in terms of going through the platform. We got the history tab too that is under the activity section here. So I clicked on activity and then went to history at the top. And this is a really nice page if you want a dollar breakdown of your trades that you just placed or of the transactions in your account. You can check out like any deposits, any exercise or assignments, symbol name changes, dividend payments, corporate actions, anything along those lines. It's going to show up in the history tab. So you just go activity and then history, and you can check that out. So nice. So let's go ahead and just open it up to Q&A here at the end. So any other questions as we wrap it up here? Anything in particular, any kind of trade you want to talk about, any kind of section that might have been particularly confusing you want to go over one more time, feel free to toss it in the chat right now. I see, does the percent show the stop price? So let's just go ahead and queue this up again. So, and just for example too, while we're here, if you wanted to cancel part of the bracket order, so maybe we just want to cancel our stop loss, or we want to cancel all of it, you got a couple different selections here. So if we want to cancel that whole bracket, we can do cancel complex. And now we've canceled that whole order. But if we go back here to our positions tab, TSM, bracket, and you can see here that it is, based on your percentage. So I think if this is your question, my friend, we're setting a take profit at 5%. We can see that's when it reaches this price right here, or on the stop side, if we are setting it based on a 2% stop loss, that means the stop triggers when it gets at this price. So hope that helped answer your question, my friend. Revising a closing order. Good stuff. Gotcha, my friend. Okay. I will cover that right now. So if we go in here and let's just say bracket's a little more complicated, but let's just go back to our positions tab. And so we had that order on Apple. Remember, we just placed it to close. So you see that view working order to close. We go here and then we go ahead and tap on our closing order on Apple. You can see all those selections there. If we wanted to cancel, get rid of it, or replace. In this case, you're asking, how do we replace our order or adjust the price? You can click on replace here within the symbol activity or recent orders or working order. Tap on replace, and then that's going to open up an order ticket here in this case, just for our closing option spread. And we click on this arrow up here. We get our full order ticket menu where now I can set a different price. Maybe I want to actually close when it reaches when it's $1, and I want to set it as a day order instead of a GTC order. You can go ahead and do that. Click review in place. And now you can see in our order ticket here at the bottom, we have our new price. So net debit close at $1. And then we also have the time in force that's switched to day. So when we submit that, now we are order canceled and order pending. So in short, you canceled your past order and placed a new one at the same exact time. And then how to see replaced orders. Once you have replaced an order, you can see that order either in the positions tab again, or you can go to activity here and you'll see that we have our working order here as well that we can mess around with at any time. You can also see the canceled order we just had at $1.25. So our first one was working at $1.25. And now we have a new limit order at $1. So don't let that mid price confuse you. But that's where you can kind of go back and get that audit log of, hey, what kind of past orders, what pricing was I placing at? Maybe I need to keep going lower to get a fill, or keep going higher in this case to get a fill. Right now market's closed, so it's no different. But yeah, so Jim, I see the question you're asking about curve mode as well. So actually, good point. Almost glanced over this, but if we were to set up a trade here, just for example, check out a strangle here. If you click on in the, oops, got a bunch of drawings, my bad guys. But if you go into the trade tab here, set up a trade, and then click on this button here at the top, excuse me. If you click on that at the top, it's actually going to change you to curve mode. And if we adjust the legs here, you can see a horizontal view. So to your point, Jim, might be a little buggy. We just are still kind of working out some of the kinks here and actually looking at add in some more analysis capabilities. But this is just like a very kind of basic view of the strategy that you're looking to place, but in a horizontal view. So if you go in landscape mode, might look a little bit better, but yeah, you can scroll back and forth, check out your profit or loss zones, greens at a profit, reds at a loss. You can see the expected move for this expiration here as well. So, and then you can also see the legs that we have selected for our trade, and then we can edit our order here at the bottom. So different kind of mode. If you wanted to go back and get out of here, you can click on curve at the top. So to your point, I'm generally sticking in the table mode, and the similar kind of profit or loss zones that you're seeing in that horizontal view are going to have that same, or essentially kind of the same level of information there on the left-hand side. You know, normally you think of the desktop platforms analysis mode that has very in-depth where you can kind of scan through each little small increment price, see where the profit or loss zone is there. It's something we're adding very, very soon, but this is just kind of the first rendition of it. So hopefully that answers your question. But cool. So any other stuff? Well, we are here. We're about to wrap it up here. Any other questions? Well, it looks like, yeah, we've been going for quite a while here. Hope it's been useful. This has been the tastytrade mobile app. We're going to post a recording of this demo to our YouTube, and we'll also look to have some more demos like this coming down the line. As always, please feel free to reach out to us at support@tastytrade.com, tech@tastytrade.com via email, or you can call us at 888-247-1963, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time. So that's 888-247-1963. You can also find our number on our Contact Us page on the Help Center as well. So we are not afraid to talk to you guys. You know, please reach out, ask questions. We want to get you guys familiar with the platform and comfortable trading. So, you know, it might take a little bit of time if you're just starting out, but we have a ton of great resources. Definitely check out our other demos and maybe our other platforms as well, and you'll definitely get caught up to speed. So big shout out to Anthony and Jeff for answering questions in chat. Thank you so much, guys. And I hope you all have a fantastic night. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.